All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our School of Business live stream. We're really excited to welcome you to our session today. My name's Sarah, and I'll be the moderator of this session. And with me today, I have an all-star panel that will talk all about the business programs here at Trent. Tonight, I'm joined by Deb Earle, who's our department coordinator, Byron Liu, the director of the School of Business, and Professor Ken Chen. We're very excited for the path you have ahead of you and look forward to sharing all of the reasons why Trent has been ranked the #1 undergraduate university in Ontario for the past 12 consecutive years. So before we get started, I'll just go over a couple of housekeeping items for you. First and foremost, live captioning is available and can be toggled on or off with the closed caption button at the bottom of your screen. Throughout the presentation, please feel free to add your questions into the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get to them at the end. So tonight will go as follows. Our panelists will have a presentation to deliver to you folks, and following that, the floor is open for you to ask all of your questions through that Q&A feature, and we will have our fantastic panel answer them for you. So with that, I'll go ahead and pass the stage over to Byron, Deborah, and Ken. Feel free to begin your presentation.
Great, thank you, Sarah. I'm now going to bring up our presentation for you. The three of us are going to tell you all about the Trent Advantage, why you should come to Trent, and why you will never regret your choice. And you'll hear from Sarah later about that as well. So Trent is consistently ranked one of the top universities. We are #1 for small undergrad programs in Ontario. We do a bang-up job. Part of the reasons, and I'll outline for you as we go through the slides, but our faculty are keen to help students. We are keen to chat with students, and we love hearing about student success. So your success is our success. Our students themselves are highly engaged. Excellent questions, participate in events, chat in classrooms, engage in extracurriculars. Students make the program. And by bringing in new students, we keep enhancing our program every year. We like to tell you that our classes are small, and that's mostly true. It's particularly true for the upper year classes. So I won't lie to you, our first year classes are not tiny, but I don't think you'll find tiny first year classes anywhere. Our upper year classes can, however, be modestly sized, allowing you to engage with your classmates and with your instructors, professors, and with other faculty. That way you get the attention you need, you get the ability to approach your professor when you need help. And many of us are on excellent relations with our students now throughout their careers, and then we follow them as they move through their careers after. We love hearing what they have to do. We have a whole variety of ways you can take your degree. It's not just a degree, and I will get into some of those details in a moment. We like to say you can get everything you can get at the big institution, but you can get it in a nice, manageable size. We also think our campus locations are really part also of our attraction. Here you'll see a shot of our Peterborough campus. That's our larger campus located in Peterborough on the edge of town. You can see in the front the library and our brand new, somewhat brand new student center. The lineup there for Starbucks is always buzzing, let's say. And our Durham campus, equally exciting, a little smaller. Students get to know each other better. Classes actually at Durham tend to be a little smaller. And students, and my colleague, Professor Ken Chen, he teaches at our Durham campus. All our instructors there are excellent. How do you get into Trent? What do you need to get into business? Basically, you need the requirements to get into Trent University. In addition, we require one 4U math, but it can be any of the 4U maths. It doesn't have to be calculus. It can be if you like, but it could be data management. It could be functions, anything you like. We require a minimum 70% average from high school with a minimum of 60% in your 4U English. And I know that's not going to be a problem for all of you out there. There are no requirements for you to get into the program once you pass those hurdles. Some universities will have a second entrance to get into business. We do not. You declare your major upon entry into the university. We do, however, have certain grade requirements. You have to maintain minimum grades in your first four first-year courses, and you need a GPA of 65 in order to get your degree at the end. And we keep in touch with our students, and any that seem at risk, where we reach out and try to bring them back in and find out what's going on. So unlike a lot of schools, once you're in our school, you've been admitted. And I realized I just took my colleague Ken's slide. I went too fast. So Ken will take over now and move on to the next slide. Shall I give you slide 7, Ken?
That's not a problem, Brian. And I
Unless you
think
have anything to add.
you've been doing a great job in explaining our program. And I want to add to what Byron said. Next page, please, Byron. When you choose business education at Trent, you will notice very quickly that our program is designed to be rigorous yet flexible, and allowing students to explore and sometimes combine their personal interests to create their own business education, their own career path. And I want to point out that there are currently a number of different ways to study business at Trent. One can pursue a traditional B.B.A. degrees with or without specialization. We also now offer very exciting co-op programs in our business degrees. And in fact, we have doubled our co-op positions in intake this year. And also, students can combine the interest in, for example, art, science, or even law to pursue their business education. Again, we are very proud, and we think this is a very huge advantages. And we are one of the university in Canada that offers such a wide range of joint majors and flexible options study business. Next page. Next slide. Yes. And when students, and oftentimes you will come to that point, decide to specialize later on, we believe that we have set up many opportunities for you to do so in many major business functions. For example, accounting, economics, entrepreneurship, finance, human resources, international studies, logistics, and supply chain. And some of those specializations are available in all campuses. Some of those are unique to certain campuses. However, you have all the freedom that you need to pursue any of them because you are free to take courses in any campus. And one thing I want to emphasize is if you are interested in professional destinations such as CPA in accounting, certified professional accountants, or the CHRP destinations in HR, in both campuses, we offer all the courses you would be required to fulfill the requirements of those certification. And we have worked really hard over the past couple of years to make sure that all our students will have easy access to all those courses. And of course, in other disciplines such as marketing, entrepreneurship, we have continued to develop new courses such as analytics, digitalization, internationalization, and to give you additional knowledge and perhaps an edge when you are about to graduate. I think, Brian, I'm going to hand back to you.
It's actually now Deb is going to speak to our EL opportunities.
Good evening, everyone. So I just want to open by saying there's lots of ways to gain work experience as part of your Trent degree. For us, there's 3 unique ways: placements, internships, and co-ops. And the one everybody wants to talk about first is co-ops. So we'll start there. So co-ops are unique in that they are high school entry only. You can't switch into co-op while you're already in progress in your Trent degree. So we're using your high school average, and you need a minimum 80% to be considered. Last year, the average to get in was more realistically around 85%. And then while you're at Trent, you do have to maintain a 75% average on your Trent studies. So as we said earlier, we have 2 streams. We have accounting and we have business. And business incorporates all other branches of business. So you could do your work terms in human resources or marketing or entrepreneurship, economics, finance. So it's all broad passive business. Now, co-ops are unique too in that It's 11 continuous terms. You don't get the summer off. So you have 8 study terms and 3 work terms. Now, these work terms are 4 months in duration and they are paid. So you stop studying while you're on your paid work term. So we're just going to go to the next screen. And this is actually, like we just talked about, the 11 continuous terms. So as you can see, you study in the first term after year 1, and your first work term begins winter of year 2. And so you'll graduate at the end of April from the business co-op. If we go to the next screen, accounting is a little bit different in that your first summer is off. And it's off because the accounting courses are a little harder to sequence our way through, and it takes us a little longer. So you don't actually go out in your first work term until year 3, but instead of graduating at the end of April, you'll graduate at the end of July. But again, it's 3 full-time paid 4-month work terms. Now, as Ken said, we have doubled our admission into co-ops this year. So we have 40 spaces in total. 25 are in accounting and 15 are in business. But unfortunately, not everyone's going to get into co-ops, and that's okay. Come to Trent and take part in our placements and internships, which are available to all students in 4th year. So placements are very different than co-ops. You would apply in year 3. You would need a 72% average on your Trent studies. And a placement is 1 day a week in a local setting. So it's 100 hours per term. Because it's one of your full course load of courses, it has to be local. So it's either going to be in the Peterborough area or the Durham area. But again, you could do a placement in the fall of year 4 and a placement again in winter of year 4. The next screen is internships. They are the most similar to co-op. Again, you would apply in 3rd year. You would take part in year 4, and an internship is a break in your studies. So you stop studying, you go on a paid full-time work term that the duration can be 6, 8, or 12 months. So the 12 months is actually the same duration as co-op. It's just this is all one work term. Again, this is paid. And the average like co-ops is your 75% that you have to maintain at Trent. Internships and co-ops for the work terms can be anywhere in Ontario or Canada. And the next screen just kind of shows the summary. So it shows you how co-ops, again, are high school entry. Placements and internships are you apply in your 3rd year to participate in your 4th year at Trent. Co-ops are within Canada, internships are within Canada, field placements are local, so that's Peterborough or Durham area. Duration, co-ops are 3 4-month work terms. Internship is 1 6 or 6, 8, or 12-month work term. Both are paid, both are full-time, both you stop studying while you're on the work term. And then the placement is 1 of 5 courses, so it's just 100 hours or 1 day a week. And then the average, like we've said, is 85% to get in from high school. You maintain a 75% in co-op while at Trent. Internship is 75 while at Trent, and placements are 72% while at Trent. So again, lots of opportunities to gain work experience.
Thanks, Deb, and over to you, Ken.
And to just add to what Deb said, and to highlight some of the experiential learning opportunities that we have worked, again, really hard to find our students. This screen shows our current experiential learning partners. And as you can see, we have many accounting firms, financial institutes, for-profit and non-for-profits. We have consumer discretionary organization, government organizations, and we have many marketing, entrepreneurial, startup kind of companies that would love to work with our students. And one thing I want to say is this is only the starting point. We are most likely going to be even growing at a high speed in terms of adding our experiential learning partners. So the best has yet to come. Next page, please. And I want to show you some of the positions, job titles of our students. Again, this is this is all the professional experience, professional position that we really want to help our student to find and captures before they went on the job market. And so, for example, some of the accounting positions include accountant in taxation, in other public areas of accounting. In banking sector, there will be advisors, analysts, and in the marketing position, you will have marketing associates and even some marketing managers, intern positions, specialists in digital marketing. Right. So I cannot emphasize enough that we are not only sending our brightest and best out to the job market to help them get professional experience, but the kind of experience that we are trying to bring them will be invaluable when they go on the job market and further differentiate themselves in the job market. Back to you, Brian.
Great. Thanks, Ken. So you might now be thinking, great, I want to get there. Well, that's great. And we're looking forward to seeing and helping you get there. Let's start at the beginning. What would your first year look like? How complicated will it be? Well, we have your program mapped out, and first year is fairly easy. There are 5 required courses, technically 4, but we recommend an additional one. And the rest are optional courses that you take from other programs. So you can see we have our Admin 1000. That's the foundation, the start. That's the course where we give you a little bit and expose you to the various functional areas of business and talk about management and skills in that. We also get you acquainted with accounting. Accounting is kind of the foundation for everything, for all branches. Even the HR people have to know accounting. So you get your first course there. And then we get a couple of courses in economics, one in the fall term, one in the winter term. And depending on your interest, you might also take our Admin 2000. It says 2000, that's typically second year, but it's more sequencing rather than defined by year. So that one requires a prerequisite, but students are eligible to take that already in their first year, but in the second term, in winter. And the rest, other courses are of your interest. We provide advising services. Deb is one of our advisors. We have others. We are happy to engage with you, to recommend and help you plan your program. And in fact, we will be reaching out to you to make sure that you're on track. Now, there are some other programs we offer that are separate from the B.B.A. and the B.A. Joint Major. I don't know if any of you out there are interested in it, but I will discuss it anyway. We also offer postgraduate certificates. Postgraduate is the key. These are for students who have already taken their degree. So let's say you've taken an engineering degree and you're proficient, but you're interested in a management position. You can take our human resource management postgraduate certificate. And what we do is you really pull out from our range of courses we offer kind of the distilled essence of what you need for HR. And the same thing, we have a program in entrepreneurship and marketing, accounting, and you can see the others. The HR human resource management and the accounting postgrad certificates both give you what you need to pursue accreditation upon graduating. So they're like a quick run through our undergrad program for students who already have a degree. And if anybody's interested, we also offer a Master of Management program. Originally, it was established at our Durham campus. We now offer it on both of our campuses. So that might be something that somebody you know might be interested in, or perhaps you'll be thinking about later. Both the postgraduate certificate programs and the graduate program, the Master of Management, you must already have a bachelor's degree. So I mentioned that just for interest. And that's the end of our formal presentation. We could talk, we have lots more of information for you, but at this point, we're going to turn the show back over to Sarah, and she's going to moderate question and answers it.
Perfect. Thank you folks so much. That was a very, very informative presentation. And I think we have a lot to break down there in the question and answers. So if you folks do have any questions, please feel free to add them using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screens right now. And I'll just go ahead with some questions that I kind of thought of while we were going through this. And as an alumni of the business program, I do know a good number of these answers, but they're definitely questions that I had going into this program. So let's break it down all the way to the very beginning. You folks were talking about the different programs available at Trent. What are some of the most popular joint majors that you see students doing, and how do joint majors work?
Who wants to field that, Deb? Do you want me to take it?
Sure. So, probably our two most popular joint majors are business and psychology. And lots of students end up in either counseling with a psychology, or psychology is also the human resources side, the people side of work. We also have a lot doing business and politics, business and economics. Again, that leads to government jobs, finance jobs. Um, you can do business and global studies if you're interested in the development side of work. It's endless. We have some students business and French heading government jobs. It's really endless. So your degree is roughly 20 credits. If you're a single major in business, and we're just going to talk simple numbers here, it's roughly 12 credits. So you still have room for 8 electives. If it's a joint major, it's roughly 8 credits in each field. So 8 credits in business, 8 credits in psychology, for a total of 16, which still leaves you room for 4 credits that are what we call university electives. And the nice part about business is we do advising right off from when you're entering Trent to you can come and see us in first year, second year. We have advising sheets on specializations. We can show you how you can do study abroad and still do a business degree. We can show you how to do the internships and complete your degree on track. You can do a community-based research project. There's so many endless possibilities at Trent.
And I will say those program sheets you have kind of outlining what courses to be taking for each specialization, those were so helpful when it came to planning my degree. So I highly recommend stop by the School of Business when you do start studying at Trent and pick one of those up for yourself, depending what specialization you want to do, or if you're thinking a general major in business without having a specialization, that's also possible. But let's talk about those specializations a little bit more. Let's say some students are coming to Trent and they've maybe never taken a business course before. They don't really know what area of business is most interesting to them. By when do they need to choose a specialization?
So technically, you don't have to declare your specialization until you apply to graduate. So that could be as late as fourth year. Byron covered the first year courses, but we didn't actually go into the second year courses. And the second year courses are what I like to call the foundational courses, because you have 7 courses that everybody has to take. Everyone has to take intro to marketing, intro to organizational behavior, intro to human resources, statistics, management skills. I'm drawing a blank, organizational theory. So once we get through all those courses, you'll have a better idea, and the first year accounting is the one I missed. You'll have a better idea of the different branches of business. When you get into third year, there's only 3 required courses out of 10. And that's where I don't want to say the fun courses are, but that's where the choice comes from, because you get to pick the courses you want. So if it's marketing, you can get a full course in advertising, or a full course in branding, or a full course in retail. If it's human resources, you can take all of the, you know, health and safety, compensation, employment law courses. You can do the entrepreneurship course and new venture planning, and in fourth year add international entrepreneurship. In accounting, there's just lots of accounting, accounting, audit, tax, and so on. So those are all in third and fourth year. So you get through second year, you'll have a much better idea. Come and see us. We'll talk about what jobs you think you want to pursue. And that could lead to whether you want to specialize in something or whether you want to take the broad degree like you took, Sarah.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And that kind of went into my other question about what are some interesting courses that students can take at Trent. And I know you've just listed a good number of fantastic courses that are really interesting, but are there any additional standout courses that are really worth mentioning?
Well, we have a brand new course called International Entrepreneurship. Let's start with that because we have somebody here who could speak directly to that course. Brand new, highly innovative. It mixes 2 of our really interesting focuses. So That's brand new. How's that go, Ken? That was a popular one.
Yes. So we have newly created the course International Entrepreneurship. And it is a really cutting edge areas in management and entrepreneurship. The topic is surrounding how we can help young and often fast growing companies that internationalized. And traditional internationalization has been a topic for multinational companies. But over the past 15 years, we have learned many companies has gone internationalizations very early on and became extremely successful. And guess what are those names? Spotify, Netflix, right? And really, we need to understand why that's the case. And that's the reason, the motivation that I created this course. And I can say with very high confidence that this is, one of the 3 courses on international entrepreneurship in Ontario right now. And students get to learn a lot of different theories and also practical implications about those theories, and has a lot of discussions and so on and so forth. And this is just one example. I think what you will find at Trent will be that we will constantly come up with new innovation and new courses that reflect the business practice of modern days. And there are things that will be needed to add to the curriculum, and we're constantly doing that. Analytics, for example, in marketing, in business in general, and that seems to be a hot topic that we want to make sure our students will know at least enough to begin. And later on, we offer additional courses for them to specialize. Does that sound okay, Sarah, to answer your question?
That's perfect. And Deb, I see you unmuted. Do you want to add something as well?
Yeah, there's a couple other interesting courses that are just general electives. We have a course on business communications, great skills for all students in all areas. We have a personal finance course. Again, it's a real practical, hands-on course. And the one thing I just want to emphasize is we're always adding new courses.
Definitely. I think that's one thing that I really loved about the business program is how innovative it was, and kind of how new things were always being added. And one of the new things that we recently opened up is the Financial Intelligence and Innovation Hub at our Peterborough campus. So can you explain what that is and what it's used for?
Sure, let me help you through that. So it's an industry standard among financial market analysts to get up to date, to the minute data on the market, stock prices, anything to do with market activity and market prices. And private firms subscribe to a service called Bloomberg. We have also subscribed to that service. So we have available to our students terminals in a lab where they can look at active market data that's occurring as you're watching the monitor. And we've integrated that into several of our courses, particularly the finance course. We have a financial analytics program, but in the business school, it's our finance group that uses those. You'll find the introduction to them in a course, and then you may very well be assigned work to do that gives you experience with those Bloomberg terminals. And let me stress that having experience on a Bloomberg terminal is something you can put on your CV and is an asset for those who are interested in working in the financial sector.
And I just want to add to what Byron said. For folks who are interested in the Durham campus locations, we are also going to add the Bloomberg terminals coming very soon. And we want to make sure that we have put resources behind our students. And Bloomberg terminal is such a gold standard in finance and also in accounting. And we want to make sure that everyone will have access to that.
That's fantastic. That sounds amazing and super helpful for anybody looking to go into careers in finance or even just for general knowledge. I know I took that personal finance course during my degree and I was really interested in it, and I still use the information I learned from that course today, especially now as I'm in a full-time position and I'm kind of looking to plan for my future. So it's really helpful. But it's really nice that students kind of get that practical application right from the get-go at Trent. Now let's talk a little bit about the law degree, if that's all right, the business and law dual degree. We have a student here who has been accepted into the program. Congratulations. But can you speak a little bit about how that program works?
Yeah, so it's a partnership program with Swansea and Wales, and I just had to look this up. It's a 6-year program. So students spend the first 2 years at Trent, and they fast track their required courses for years 2, 3, and 4. Then they go on to Swansea and Wales for third, fourth, and fifth year. Then they come back to Trent for years 6 to finish their Trent courses and their law courses. So at the end of the 6 years, they'll have 2 degrees, their law degree and their business degree, and it is available on both campuses.
Yeah, now, as you might expect, it's a very compressed program. You're doing your B.B.A. in 3 years. And in fact, you're also doing qualifying courses so that you can transfer your law degree from the UK to Canada. So it moves along quickly. 6 years sounds like a long time. Uh, no, I've been chatting with students who've come back for their 6th year, and for them, they just started. They've been busy, busy, busy. But a great program. All of them really enjoy their time, and we'll see. And they're all keen to get out there and pursue their careers.
I know a good number of students who have gone through that pathway, and it's really great to see them have be well prepared in both areas, whether they're going into business law or I know a lot of students who have gone on into to do like financial law and looking at auditing and whatnot with that. But that's just one pathway that students can take. Let's say students not necessarily just doing the business and law dual degree, just getting a BBA from Trent. What are some types of careers that you see students pursuing after completing that program? And can you share any examples of what alumni of the program have gone on to do?
It's like everything. I mean, we'll all go through because we all know. I was chatting with an alum who graduated a few years ago. He now has a job with the Crown Corporation, the Business Development, BDC. I can't remember what the letters stand for. And he works, I believe, out of our Peterborough Durham office. I can't remember what he said. He's really keen. He's looking for new students to bring aboard. He's they're kind of like they fund kind of new innovations and ideas. That's kind of their mandate. They're not like a traditional bank. So that's one area. Financial services more generally, definitely popular. But we have a lot of students who go through our HRM program, working in a whole variety of places, doing a variety of things in the human resource management area, from kind of traditional stuff, managing payroll, to much more innovative stuff like designing new systems. And it's all over. And I'm going to turn the floor over to Deb and to Ken because I'm sure they have other good examples of students.
Sure, lots of students going into accounting, getting their CPA, lots of students doing entrepreneurship stuff, which I'm sure Ken can talk about. Lots of students in banks, Royal Bank, TD Bank, um, government jobs. The BBA is a broad degree, any kind of government jobs, city, municipal jobs. With the HR, some are taking it to jobs like, at resorts and just doing the health and safety. Some have taken the HR to, we've got one student that works for WestJet, just everywhere. Ken, you want to add some more?
And I guess one path that many people think about later on, perhaps not now, is grad schools, graduate schools. And I will be very confident to say that students who have gone through the degrees with us, BBA and other degrees, they are very well prepared to enter some of the most competitive grad schools in Canada and even internationally. And this is something that they often, after I gave them the reference letters and they got into degrees and they even finish it, they would come back and say, Trent really gave them the confidence and the care that they need to perhaps some of them find their own path at the beginning. And that's why the flexibility that we talked about, blending your personal interest, have the flexibility to change if you have to, depends on your own interest. Will give you all the rigor that you ever need, but the flexibility allow you to think about what you want to do and what motivate you. And many of those students went on to grad school, and they would say, that's very important. I graduate from Trent with high confidence, knowing what I need to know to move on and pursue what I need to pursue. And later on, I realized that I still need more, and I can continue with that. Um, if you have to give name, you can consider the top 5 Canadian schools that you can ever think of, and including some of the top US schools. They have no problem getting into any of those and succeed in many of those degrees.
And Sarah, some of the other things that make Trent unique are some of the student services that are available. Like we have the free academic skills center where students can get workshops on time management, academic integrity, how to write a good essay, how to take good notes, how to do well in multiple choice testing. And those workshops are all free. We have career space where students can get free workshops on how to write a good resume, cover letter, interview skills. CareerSpace does job fairs for both summer jobs and jobs post graduation. Um, we offer as a department the CEO in residence. So we just bring in, CEOs and they can talk to the students one-on-one. They'll do large group lectures open to the public. They'll come in and speak in our classrooms. So that the services and the extracurricular activities available at Trent are just outstanding.
And I just want to add, a slightly different perspective. Every year over the past 3 years, we have CEOs in residence, and we bring in business leaders in our communities. And oftentimes we kind of make them work hard, coach individual students, get the opportunity to talk to individual students, share their life experience. I know that students who went to those coaching sessions get to interact and make a very strong impression. They even got jobs through CEO in residence. And I don't think that is an anomaly. I think those are examples of what we do for our students to find opportunities that you may not be able to find on your own at the beginning, and bridge the gap, right? Make the connection for you. And I will argue that oftentimes there are more opportunities than participants. And if we are prepared, and hopefully we work with you, get you prepared, help you get some of those positions, capture some of those opportunities, and perhaps that's really the ultimate reward we get as a school, as a university. So the message is really, come here, work with us. We work hard for sure, but work with us and let us, help you find that connection, find that opportunities, and you can get jobs that you didn't think you would get. You will discover a career, rewarding career that you may not even aware. I'll give you a very concrete example. 3 years ago, we had the chairwoman of RBC, Katie Tyler. So she's the chairman of RBC, if not one of the biggest, if not the biggest bank in Canada. She was the CEO of Four Seasons Hotel Global, and she's one of the most influential business women in Canada. You get to spend time one-on-one learning from her, and one of our students went on doing that, and she got a job, summer internship, through that connection. And that one summer intern opened up another opportunities next year. And this is just one very specific and concrete example, right? And hopefully, while we're working hard bringing in those opportunities, you go and capture some of those, see some of those, and that will be wonderful.
And just to add to that, we had 9 students out on internship last year who have returned for their last term, and 7 of those 9 were offered permanent job offers with their host internship company. Even with placements, students are getting at 100 hours a term, students are getting summer jobs and permanent job offers from those placement connections. Now, we haven't yet graduated co-op students, but we're hoping we'll be just as successful. But I just want to put a plug in there that it's not just co-ops, it's also placements and internships. These broad work experiences are landing students connections.
That's amazing to hear. And I think one thing that we talk so much about all those work experiences in terms of placements and internships and co-ops, but I think one thing that I really, really enjoyed about my Trent degree are the other experiential learning opportunities that kind of take place within the classroom, such as case studies. I found that case studies, which are essentially for folks who aren't aware, case studies are basically where you analyze a real organization, a situation that occurred in that organization, and kind of apply different theories to it, and assess that real organization in terms of by applying what you're learning in classes. So it really gives you that real world application of the knowledge that you're learning in classes. And I think that's something that you really get familiar with while you're at Trent. So when you're in the workplace, you're well prepared to kind of apply what you have learned at Trent right away and really jump into it and understand what you're doing right away. So there are lots and lots of different ways um, to kind of get that work experience or that knowledge that's really going to help you succeed in the workplace. And I think that's probably part of the reason, Deb, why so many of our students have been receiving offers, because Trent's program really does prepare you for the real world. And I think that's one thing that I noticed right from my first year, that those introductory courses that you're taking in your first year, they really make sure that you know what you're doing for the rest of your years. They really set you up for success, like Ken was saying. But there are also a lot of really other fantastic ways. You mentioned CEO in residence, fantastic ways to get involved. So can we talk a little bit about some of the business clubs that students can join? I know I myself was a part of the Trent Marketing Association, but there are some fantastic clubs that students can join. And we got a question about DECA. Does that exist at Trent?
Yeah, our main student organization group is the Trent Business Students Association. So that's meant to represent all business students. And I think there's one in Durham as well, a version of it, the Trent Durham Business Students Association, I believe they call themselves. We have, Sarah said, the Marketing Students Association. The accounting students also have a group.
HR.
Oh yeah, and HR, of course. Yeah, so there's kind of the functional areas. The students sort of get attracted through that connection, and also because they tend to take a lot of courses together. So they obviously, the HR students are going to know each other, and the accounting students are going to know each other. So they organize through that. There are university clubs as well. I can't really speak to many of those. We have quite a few. We have varsity teams, we have intramural teams, all sorts of things. Deb, what else do we have for the students? I think DECA is, I think sometimes it's of interest. It kind of depends on student interest. I have no direct experience with that myself. Anybody else know?
We have Enactus as well for the entrepreneur side. Lots of students that are involved with their college cabinets, or with their horseback riding club or their chess club, all kinds of different clubs and groups where you can get leadership opportunities on the executive. And if there's not a group that exists at Trent, then you can start one. Lots of students do that.
And a piece of advice that some of our alum or senior alum have passed along to our students is get involved in those activities and take on a management role. They really like to see that on your CV, right? It's not just something you do for fun. It's definitely something you do for fun. But in addition, it demonstrates effort, initiative, anything that you can get along with others. So definitely something to consider. And we have lots of opportunities for you.
Great. And that kind of leads into my next question for you folks. But before I ask it, please feel free to continue putting in any questions that you may have. We do still have some time, so we're happy to go through any additional questions that you folks can think of. But my question for you, Byron, Deb, and Ken, what advice would you give prospective students considering studying business at Trent?
Who wants to
Just
start?
one?
As much advice as you have, I'm sure they would appreciate hearing your thoughts.
Right. I start with one. You may think you are not very good at math. If you get admitted, we are confident that you will be succeed. You will be successful. A lot of the fears, if you will, among many of our early students on quantitative methods in general and courses specifically, many of them are really psychological barriers that you can overcome, and we help you overcome some of those. In business, there are a lot of math, but those are not really advanced math. As long as you can calm down, right? You can work within Excel spreadsheets. An Excel spreadsheet doesn't really involve a lot of advanced math. It just asks you to calm down and figure out a formula. You will do great. So that will be my first piece of advice. We understand you may be fearful at this point, but we're confident that if you can get in, you have the intelligence needed. Just need to work with us.
Yeah, and more on the math, as Ken says, we're not talking here about second order differential equations. We're talking about simple numbers on a financial statement. And everybody has to be able to evaluate the business plan. You have to understand the cost structure. It's always expressed in numbers, but numbers aren't the only story. If it was just numbers, we'd have ChatGPT doing everything. I don't know what we'd be doing. It doesn't work that way. It's what you see in the numbers, how you interpret the numbers, how you apply them to the context, and all of that. That's all the skills we apply. So you acquire that by studying with us, by focusing, by something very simple, by going to class and attending, by actively attending, engaging with your instructors, engaging with your fellow students, trying not to watch videos while the class is on, even through the boring parts. Review what you're doing. Really basic stuff. I know those are the boring things, but honestly, the exciting stuff comes out at the other end. So I know Deb is our academic advisor, so I'm going to let her provide more.
I was going to say 3 things, and you took my first one, Byron. That's attend class. That is so key. The second one is time management. University, it's a little different than high school. You only are going to have 15 to 20 hours of class. So you're going to have some gaps in between. So let's use that time effectively. Take and read your syllabus. Take your syllabus, which is your outline of what each course has. So it's your 12 weeks of class. It shows your tests and your midterms and all your assignments. Take those assignments for each of your 5 classes and put them into one big 4-month time management course planner, because you will have a week where you have 5 assignments, and the week before you might not have any. So if you're using that time management chart well, you're looking ahead 2 or 3 weeks in advance, you know you've got to do a couple of assignments early and meet those deadlines, because it's not like high school. You miss a deadline by 1 minute, it could be 0 on the assignment, or it could be 5% per day. But all those rules and regulations are outlined in the course syllabus, and the professor will go over the course syllabus the first day of class. But if you take that course syllabus and you do good time management skills, that will lead to success in your studies.
And perhaps I add one more to what Deb said. Deb or student advisors in general are very important resources. Especially you want to build a career in business, you need to understand the concept of resources. And what other resources are available in university? Your professors. Your professors sometimes are waiting to help you. You cannot even believe, right? They're monsters, they're trying to hurt. No, they're waiting to help you, but they cannot help you if you don't let them know how they can help you, right? So come to office hours, ask questions. And I think I can say with very high confidence again that Trent's professors are very friendly. We are really trying to help you, given a right size of university, right? We don't treat you like a number. We want to get to know you. We bump into you in the hallway and we talk about different things. Sometimes students will just drop in and ask me for an advice on something that is not related to my course. But that are the kind of resources, connection, and relationship that you should think about, and you will also have the opportunity to acquire, to build. So think about resources, right? Where can I get help? Think about professors. How can I get help from professor? Any suggestion, any advice that can make my life easier. Go to someone like Deb, extremely helpful, with tons of insight and wisdoms. And they're waiting to give them away, right? You wouldn't even realize that they're just waiting, oh, who's the next person who I can give them away. So keep that in mind. We are here to help you. And if we see you successful, I think that's the best reward that we get. Byron, you are on.
Thank you. Sorry, I thought I clicked. I have seen students wait and wait, and then second last week of term, they come to see me, I'm having trouble, and they haven't submitted 3 assignments. And I say to them, well, why did you wait till the end of term? Oh, I was nervous. I didn't want to contact you. I didn't know what. No, you need to contact your instructor. Just piling on to what Ken said. I thought the student had dropped the course. I had no idea they were so far behind, right? Shock to me. Please engage with your instructor, contact them when you need help, contact Deb and the other advisors we have, right when you think your things are not going as smoothly as you thought. And that's going to be true for everybody. I know I picked a point from Ken is that, you think your path is start, go through your degree, and graduate and walk out, no, it goes up and down and bumpy and here and there, and maybe you'll switch, who knows? So be aware of that and get advice.
Definitely. One really helpful way for you folks to do that is by attending your professor's office hours. So for any of you who may be coming directly from high school or have never attended any post-secondary institution before, essentially office hours are times that your professor holds every single week, typically, at a set time where you can just drop into their office and get some help, ask them for advice. As Ken said, talk about areas that aren't even necessarily related to your course, kind of form those connections with your professors, which aren't only helpful in making sure that you succeed in the course, but if you are thinking of something like doing a master's degree down the road or doing further education afterwards, these professors are also going to be fantastic academic references for you. And a lot of master's programs, especially in the business realm, they do ask for academic references. So if you're considering doing an MBA afterwards, doing a master's of management afterwards, having professors that know you and can give personalized letters of recommendation will make a really big difference when it comes to your application and how those schools that you're considering will review your application. So if I could give a piece of advice as well, it would definitely be connect with your professors and get involved. There are so many different ways. You don't even have to get involved in different business clubs if you don't want to. If you have other passions, if you like studying languages, you can join the French club. If you like sports, we have intramurals, extramurals, varsity sports. So there are so many different ways to get involved during your time at Trent. And I think it's also really helpful for business students to consider these connections that you're making at university as a part of your network. They're not just people that are coming into your life for a short amount of time. They're people that you're going to be forming memories with, and they can be people that end up benefiting your life as you go forward, whether it's by giving you new experiences or giving you potential new opportunities in the future or opening your eyes to different opportunities that exist for you. So really getting involved and getting to know your profs, that's going to make a really big difference in your university career. All right, so we are kind of coming to a close. So if folks do have any last minute questions, please feel free to add them in. But in the meantime, if students do have any further questions or concerns beyond today, what's the best way for them to contact the business department?
Super easy. School of Business, one word, School of Business at trentu.ca. And somebody will get back to you. So easy to find. I mean, you can go to our website and you'll find the links too, but that's it. School of Business, one word, at trentu.ca.
Perfect. So if you folks do have any questions, please feel free to send an email. I'm going to type that in the chat as well. So if you want to copy and paste it, you can do so. School of Business at trentu.ca. I'm also going to add a couple of other links in the chat for you folks. So we do offer campus tours at both of our campuses 6 days a week. So if you haven't checked out either of our campuses yet, and you've applied to either of them or both of them, I'd highly recommend coming for a guided tour, and you can book those at trentu.ca/tours. That link is in the chat for you folks as well. And if you have general questions about Trent, or if you have any questions not necessarily relating to business, you want to know about scholarships, financial aid, different ways to get involved at Trent, different opportunities you have as a Trent student, please feel free to contact our recruitment department at discovertrent@trentu.ca or discovertrentdurham@trentu.ca, and a member of our recruitment team would be happy to help you folks out. All right. It does seem like Byron's typing an answer, so I'm going to let him finish typing an answer to a question. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you to Deb, Byron, and Ken for joining us this evening and providing such an informative presentation and then such great answers to all the questions that I threw at you tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to do this and to help all of our prospective future students hopefully making their decision about whether to come to Trent or not, which I would highly recommend. But thank you also to all of you folks for joining us tonight. We know sometimes when it's a nice and sunny day, you don't really want to sit in front of a computer screen and watch a live stream, but it's really nice to have you folks here, and hopefully this has been helpful for all of you making your decision. All right, well, with that, there are no more questions, so we'll wrap it up. Thank you all very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on campus sometime soon. Take care.